I'm back, and this is my review for The Real Housewives of Atlanta, Season 15, Episode 6. So, Marlo is at dinner or lunch with her friends, Justin and Ty. I believe that's her name, Justin and Ty. They're having dinner. They're just discussing everything, you know, about what's going on in Marlo's life. And they seem like an interesting couple. Honestly, I don't remember exactly what they were talking about. I know that they were talking about, Marlo was talking about Candy and how, you know, she said something about Candy. I really don't remember what they were talking about, to be quite honest with you. But I would be interested in seeing Ty and Justin on the show. They're married, you know, they're a new couple to the show. I would be interested in seeing what their relationship is about, or what they bring to the show. Sometimes I feel like you can kind of tell if it's going to be a hit or a miss with people. They seem interesting to me, so I would want to, you know, see more of them. Sonya and Sherry. This is what it all boils down to. To me, it seems like, Sonya even said it. Ross wants it to be Sonya, himself, and Deuce, the son. Understandable. You know, sometimes when you live with a lot of people, it can be overcrowded sometimes, you know, especially when there's multiple married couples in the house, and then you have your parents. It can get a little crowded, so I understand that. But Sonya's sister Sherry made an excellent point that basically you guys have a live-in babysitter. You both travel. Sonya travels and Ross travels. It seems like Ross travels more than Sonya, or maybe equal, I don't know. But in my opinion, if Sonya wants her sister to stay, that would benefit her, because it doesn't seem like her and Ross is home at the same time. They're always going to need somebody to be at the house. It seems to me that Sonya is putting herself in a trick bag. That's just my opinion. If it's crowded to Ross, no offense, if Ross is not there all the time, I don't see what the issue is. And yes, it is their house. If they want it to just be them, then that's fine. But if Sonya or Ross can't find a babysitter, or they're going to travel, or they're going to be out of the house more times than inside the house, because when Ross travels, he travels to Texas, I think. Ross, you're not home to watch Deuce. So if Sonya's sister is willing to do it, and then they have kids around the same age, I don't see what the issue is, because Sonya also travels. Now, if Sonya was a stay-at-home mom, then I understand, because Sonya, you in the house, so you're really not doing anything. You could be watching your own child. But if both Sonya and Ross travels, I don't see why the sister can't stay just a little while longer. Just a little while longer. I mean, eventually, sis, you're going to have to leave. But she made a good point. Like, we're helping you out. And once she leaves, and I don't know if they're going to stay in Atlanta, because I believe the mom and dad wants to move back to Florida. I don't know what Sonya is going to do. I think that's going to cause a huge problem, because to me, it seems like Sonya is going to have to bend more than Ross will have to bend. I think Ross, nothing is going to change. He's just going to continue to do what he's been doing. My opinion, may not be true. I feel like Sonya is going to take the weight of trying to figure out where Deuce, you know, can go, who can babysit him and everything. That's just my opinion. Congratulations to Kenya on, she's starting a Kenya Moore hair spa. Kenya Moore hair care. The building is beautiful. She's discussing, you know, what the building is going to look like with the salon and everything. And I can see her vision, and I feel like it's going to be really, really nice. So congratulations to her for expanding her brand. And not only does she have a Kenya Moore hairline for hair products, she's going to have a spa, which I'm pretty sure they're going to sell and use her hair care products in the salon. So that, to me, that's a smart idea. It's a bright idea. I wish her well. Hopefully she's successful with the spa, and she said she's going to pass it down to Brooklyn. So congratulations to Kenya. Now, this is what the episode was mainly about. Kandi versus Marlo. So Courtney plans an event at the escape room, because in order to get out of the room, you know, you have to communicate with each other to get out of the room. So that was a good, I think, event. Kandi is already upset because Kenya calls her and tells her that Marlo is going around telling people that Kandi, you know, did not send her nephew flowers. She's going around speaking ill of Kandi regarding the situation that happened with her nephew. And so Kandi speaks to Kenya about it, and Kandi is upset. When they get to the event, Kandi says she wants to speak to Marlo right off the bat. She said, I don't want to come off with the wrong energy. We need to talk. So Marlo says, okay, me, you, and Drew, we all can go talk. Like I said in the last video, could Kandi have sent flowers to Marlo or to the funeral or whatever, not because it was just her nephew, but because he did work at OLG, because that was Marlo's nephew and she knows Marlo? That would be a nice thing to do, yes. But Kandi makes an excellent point that I didn't even realize. Marlo is trying to associate Kandi's nephew shooting with her nephews, with Marlo's nephews shooting. And it's not landing. Marlo is making it seem like her nephew was shot at OLG by somebody who worked at OLG, and Kandi is not aware of it and was being mean by not even sending her flowers or anything like that. Kandi makes a great point. When it happened, Marlo texted Kandi, Kandi, do you know such and such? Oh, that's my nephew. Kandi said, you know, I'm sorry to hear that. Then Bravo plays a flashback of Marlo, unseen footage of Marlo going to Kandi's house and talking to Kandi about what happened. Fine. Here's the issue I have with Marlo. And to Kandi's point, Marlo, if you felt some type of way about Kandi not sending flowers to you or the family, you should have told Kandi prior to the event at the escape room. That's 2023. Your nephew in 2020. So if there was an issue, you would have brought it up then. There's not an issue when it comes to that, because why didn't you bring it up to Kandi? To Kandi's point, you're trying to make, now that she has a shooting at OLG, you are trying to relate it, or, you know, because your nephew worked at OLG, you're trying to take the opportunity to say, oh, Kandi doesn't speak about anything. Every time they speak about me, they don't say, you know, every time they speak about Kandi, they don't say the word shooting. They use the word incident. But when they talk about me, they say cut the girl's face or cutting people, talk about my past. Let me just say this. In the show, people are referring to Kandi's, you know, the shooting that happened at OLG as an incident. And Marlo doesn't think it's fair that Kandi is not forced to talk about situations that is in a negative light that happens to Kandi. And here's what I say to this. Marlo, You're saying Kandi don't want to talk about things that happen in a negative light that happened, you know, at the shooting and OLG and everything. But Marlo, we don't know what happened with the lady face you cut. I'm still waiting on that information. I don't know what happened when you had all those mug shots. No, nor do I care to find out either. But you're trying to say Kandi doesn't want to talk about, but you don't talk about anything either. I don't know what happened. So I don't understand what Marlo is trying to do, and it's not working. Marlo, you know, I had high hopes for Marlo. I really did, because I feel like, you know, everybody deserves a chance. And Marlo wants to stick it to Kandi so bad that it's so obvious, it's so overt, that it's not landing for her. She has no basis to her argument. Kandi didn't send you any flowers. Marlo slipped up and said she didn't send me no flowers. OLG didn't cater the funeral. That's what it is. You want Kandi to pay for the funeral. It's not funny. You wanted Kandi to give OLG food, pay for the funeral possibly. It's not just about the flowers. And Kandi again said, oh, after, like a couple weeks after what happened to her nephew, she tagged her and wanted her to be on her cameo to make some quick lunch money. Marlo is trying to bring Kandi out of her character.
Drag you in this bitch.
By bringing up the sensitive incident, okay, regarding her nephew. And I think that's low. And that's why her name, maybe that's why her name is Marlo. Oh, okay, Marlo. She's low. Like, that has nothing to do with nothing. You can't compare yourself to Kandi. And not the fact that Kandi's better than you, you're better than Kandi. No. Kandi has been on the show longer than you.
You just got a peach.
That's not, whoever told you allegedly to go for Kandi and make Kandi work for her check, that was not good advice. You were ill-advised, okay? You were not advised correctly. They set you up because it's not working for you. And then Drew, see, the reason why I don't want Drew on the show is because Drew, they try to say Ralph gaslights Drew. No, Drew gaslights other people, and it doesn't land for her either. She's saying, oh, I said incident because I'm from Chicago, and in Chicago, you don't use the word shooting because that's perpetuating violence. So you saying that you can't use the word shooting in Chicago because that's perpetuating violence? Has the crime decreased because you're not using the word shooting? I really want to know. Because if it didn't decrease, then maybe you should use the word shooting so people can understand what's going on. So maybe you can decrease it that way. I don't know. But you not using the word shooting because you're from Chicago is BS. It doesn't make sense, Drew. And that's why I really don't care for her to be on the show. And I'm not saying that she's a bad person because I don't know her. But for the show, no. That didn't make any sense. And everybody in their confessional was like, yeah, girl, I never heard anything like that. Drew just talks and plays and jokes, and it's not even funny. Then she tries to antagonize Marlo. Now, Marlo was aggressive towards Drew. When she got in her face, when she got up out of her seat, even though she wasn't doing anything in the beginning. But to me, once you get out your seat, that's a whole nother story. That's just my opinion. Stay in your seat, because once you get up, to me, that's when it becomes aggressive. When you front pedal, when you stand up and direct it towards a person, it'd be different if you get up to walk away. That's different. That's diffusing the situation. How Kandi did, Kandi left, okay? Marlo was aggressive to Drew when she got in her face and said that her nephew. However, when they showed Marlo standing with her hands behind her back and Drew was trying to antagonize Marlo, if Marlo would have reached out and touched Drew, Marlo would have been well within her right. Back up off of her. She was not being aggressive. Drew was being aggressive in that instance. And I don't like for people to antagonize people and then want to play victim. If Marlo would have reached out and touched her, I don't think Marlo would have been wrong in that instance. Because you're on my back. Okay, get off my back. And like Candy said, don't touch me. Get off the shoulder right here. And get off this shoulder. And don't touch my back, okay? And it happened in Pillow Talk with Peter, Cynthia, Mal, Candy, Todd. Don't grab me. You grab the people that you're with, okay? Don't grab me and make me defenseless, okay? To Candy's point, don't make me defenseless. You get your people, and then my people can get me, okay? But if dead people not getting, don't touch me. Don't touch me. And I'm with Candy. Candy said, don't grab me. So in instances like that, and I'm not for violence, but I do feel like don't make a person defenseless when they want to defend themselves. Not that I think Marlo was going to fight Candy. I think Marlo gets off on making Candy upset. I really believe that. But Candy, and it's a touchy subject, but Candy should have just straight up ignored Marlo. But I guess she's upset that you're spreading lies about her restaurant. You're trying to make it seem like everything that happened was because of her restaurant, and that's not fair. Because that is her legitimate business, and people may not want to eat there because of that. It's already bad that it happened, and now you want to bring it up to something that has nothing to do with it. Yes, it's true. Your nephew worked at OLG. Your nephew had already been gone, Candy said, for months. He had already left. So Candy ends up walking out, and I'm glad that she did, to defuse the situation. She didn't let it escalate. Drew was in there trying to make something out of nothing. I did not like that at all. I don't like for people to want to be a victim, but then want to antagonize people. He was trying to provoke Marlo. And I'm glad Marlo did not take the bait. Thank you, Marlo. Thank you. Candy leaves. Kenya leaves. Monyetta leaves. Drew leaves. I don't know why Kenya left. I don't know why Monyetta left. And Drew, I'm glad Drew left. I think Monyetta and Kenya was trying to have Candy's back and leave. And that film with Marlo, I'm not going to say if that was right or wrong, because Candy is their friend, and Candy was upset, but I don't think Kenya wanted to be there anyway. So that was a perfect. Kenya took that opportunity to get out of there. Monyetta, girl, you should have stayed, because you trying to get on the show. You should have just stayed. So the show went on. Courtney, Sheree, Marlo, and Sonya, they continued to film. And Sonya was on Marlo's side when it came to keep calling her aggressive, keep calling Marlo aggressive. And in this instance, because this is an isolated incident, I believe so, Marlo was not being aggressive. Drew was being provoking, and I don't think that's right. That's pretty much the episode. It was pretty much about Marlo and Candy. It wasn't a bad episode. They just wanted to hash things out. And now that everything is hashed out, I don't want to hear no more about it, Marlo. I mean, that's pretty much all I got to say about this episode. So I'll see you guys in the next review. Bye.